Hospitality in the Qonzer train, they will be breaking down all the place.
Hello and welcome everyone to the APL Insider. I am your host Gadarian, and joining me to my left, the all familiar Qonzer train. How's it going, bud?
It's going great, Gadarian. I'm pretty excited for tonight. I know it's supposed to be a little bit of a short show, but that's okay.
Got a good one in store, though.
Mm-hmm.
Very good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, but before we go into the real reason why we got this all started, we're going to recap the finals of the Division 4, which took place, I want to say 2 weekends ago. Has it been 2 weeks already?
It's been like 2 weeks now. So
it's been 2 weeks, yeah. So for those of you that didn't catch the final, it was Ronin taking on Odyssey. Ronin being a South American team, taking on Odyssey, a North American team, on Purple Heart Lane night. And it was cast by, I want to say, was it Smithers?
There was actually they did two different casts. So Smithers did one, and I think it was
Barbosa?
Right?
Was it Barbosa?
No. It was two English
Formas.
casters. They allowed two English casters. So I threw together a quick little recap using both of their casts, actually. So, yeah, we want to go ahead and take a look at that. Yeah, let's do it. This match starts off in spectacular Division 4 style.
Nobody getting even close to hardcap. Let's take a look at the maps here. Oh no, Odyssey missing a tank.
Supply truck, transport. Oh, the medium got stuck in the river. Oh my gosh, the medium off the opening got stuck in the river.
This is where the struggle actually begins.
The left side of Pillbox. Lux is rushing on in. And Ronin is going for a full-out assault on Pillbox. As Odyssey starts taking back this point.
I think in order for Ronin or Odyssey to have a chance at stalling this cap, they're going to need to knock down one of those Luxes. Truck destroyed in the river? Truck destroyed in the river.
Cap continues to go back and forth. Odyssey is now starting to take this back. Something goes down all the way over here as AT guns are probably raining on down. That's a poor Stewart. That is a big ouch for Odyssey's tanks.
Odyssey is just barely holding on here. And I think we're about to see a flip for Ronin.
Mistakes are made.
I have big problems with this this big bold move that this tank is doing. It has no idea if AT guns are around. It's just too risky of a move.
76 gets taken down. 76 gets taken down crossing the bridge.
Bombing run coming through.
Now, it's not very often that we get to have two casters, and even less often that they're both watching the same thing at the same time.
Medium is pushing. Medium doesn't see the heavy or just doesn't care. Continues to move on.
Medium goes right by the Tiger in its face. Tiger does not blink.
No, don't you dare peek. Oh no.
Will the medium make it out of there alive? Oh, man. Oh, shot to the ass of the medium, but the Tiger is turned around.
76 is pulling up right behind the Tiger.
This is what I'm talking about. These are the plays.
This Tiger hitting the backside, engineing.
76 rolls up, and... Oh no. 76 takes down the Tiger.
76 wins that game of cat and mouse. Let's take a
It should
look
be
at
noted that that tank
vertical
battle marked the
first
capping
at
of the fourth
Oceania
point by Ronin.
in Rio. Rio looking through the hedge, sees one, headshots one, takes down two, and gets taken down by Hunts.
creating a brutal bridge fight.
Ooh, Cooney gets a rocketed PvP right there.
Let's take a look. There's nobody in the hard cap at Duvet Bridge. It's just the fact that Odyssey has so many people up on the north. It is insane. It is utterly insane.
However, Odyssey keeps pushing.
A-Kane getting a satchel on the tank. Or at least trying to. He gets a satchel on. It's on the track, left side track. These guys have to get out soon.
I don't think the Tiger knows they've been satcheled. Oh, he's bailing. He's bailing. He's bailing. TC bails. Looking for the satchel. Looking for the satchel.
Crunch time. Not sure if there's enough time to get this satchel off. They don't see it.
Oh my gosh, it's 2 seconds away. And the Tiger goes down. Big satchel play.
Cap is going in Odyssey's favor. Reminder, these guys had 2 minutes to start the cap. But there's nothing on Pillbox to roll through. So even if Odyssey gets to cap on Duvet Bridge, they have nothing. They have nothing on Pillbox. There's nobody there to help support. There's nobody there to help continue the cap. It is all Ronin's glory, and Ronin is Division 4 champions.
And that will be a wrap. Once again, congratulations to Ronin here for winning the Division 4 APL Championship here on PHL Night.
Well said, boys. Well said. And
Taking on Odyssey and doing what they do best, which is just win, baby. 9-0, perfect season. Congratulations. You guys well deserved, and definitely looking forward to seeing you guys next season, season 4, maybe in Division 3, because I think you guys are ready for the challenge. Honestly, I think Division 3, you and Vanguard teaming up or playing against one another would be a nice little thing to see.
doing what they do best, he says, after he voted for Odyssey.
Yeah, I did have them as my dark horse, so I gotta play both sides. You know what I mean?
Sorry, had to call you out real quick.
It's all good.
Moving
it's all
on.
good. Yeah. So anyway, the real reason, other than obviously doing those highlights, although a little bit late, we do have a very special guest from Qonzer. He is the founder of the company, and Turion will be joining us. Turion,
Hello.
pleasure to have you, sir.
Hello.
I'm a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
I know we talked a lot off stream before we even got started, and boy, you blew my mind. I mean, honestly, your knowledge, incredible.
I thought we were live. I don't know about you, but I thought we were live at the time. That's why I was doing it.
It's probably going to be better. It should have been better the first time. But anyway, listen, for those that don't know who you are or what your company is or how you even came about, would you just give us a quick history and maybe a little bit about your company's vision?
Sure thing. So, I mean, it's not a complicated thing as per se. As I said before, during COVID, we, just a group of us decided that we wanted to get some game service. It was as simple as that, really. And the problem came when those game servers didn't work properly, and we were quizzing the companies about it, and we just found that there'd be a general thing about dishonesty. There was no transparency. We didn't even know what we were running on, but we knew there was a problem. And quite often when you go to a company, you say, I've got a problem with my server, it's lagging or something like that, they'll always find a way to blame you or say, oh, well, you're running mods.
Restart your server.
Restart your server, as if you haven't already tried it. And anyway, it turned into a bit of an obsession, and we ended up getting about, I don't know, it was about 30, 40 different games, about 20 of the providers, and we just didn't find what we were after. And obviously, we were all very knowledgeable in doing it all anyway. We'd always worked with different people or had previous ownerships or whichever. And so it just came down to let's create it. Let's do something that we would be happy with, basically. And that was the starting point. And then it just went into years of development. So in 2021, 2022. There was the sort of concept, and we had big pieces of paper, and what would we be happy with, and what do we want to see, and what do we think customers want to see, and it just stemmed from there basically, all about literally performance, transparency, and then innovation. That's sort of like a guiding principle of that. If that's
Yeah,
Like an unheard of corporate standpoint. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's proper sales pitch that, isn't it? But that's the way it is, and but it's unfortunate now that the game hosting industry has become what it's become. And it's not just the game hosting industry; it stems into other parts of the industry, everything from web hosting, virtual servers, cloud computing, a lot of it. You know, um, there isn't, there's just no honesty behind it anymore. You could be on a game server with 50 other people, and you wouldn't know anything about it. And so it comes down to it, and we mentioned before, we don't quite understand the reason people do it, but we think
We
it's
have a little
greed.
reason.
We think it's a greed perspective. That's pretty much it. They want to
Right, greed. It's you said it best. I thought it was profit margins, right?
Yeah, it's profit. And look, profit. I'm not going to say it's easy. Profit margins are low, and I'd have a guess that probably the lowest in the sector comes from gaming. You've got to have a lot of people buying game servers and throughput and so on and so forth to even make a buck out of it. But it is possible, and it's possible without breaking everyone's bank. And then so it comes down to a cost perspective then for us. How are we going to sell a service? And so we sell resources. We don't sell slots. We don't see the point in it. There are many. This is another dishonest thing that we've seen in the industry. So for a game like DayZ, for example, I know this is really hell loose, but just in the makeup of the hosting industry, a game like DayZ will use no more resources, CPU resources that is, on a 100 slot server versus a 20 slot server. It just simply won't use any more resources. The game will only use one core and one thread, and so why charge somebody, $100 or $50 for a 100 slot server, and then charge them less when the resources are the same? Makes no sense. So we just say, look, there's your resources. It's your server, your way. Do what you want with it. Simple.
I'm hoping that you can slowly get yourself a nice little niche in our community here, because to me, it really just boils down to trust for server owners. I want to know that I'm getting a dependable game server, and you guys plan on just breaking in. And I'm hoping, honestly, that not only just the competitive scene, but everybody who rents servers in this space believes in what your vision is. Because I think your performance, based on what I'm getting in terms of feedback from the competitive scene, they love the performance. So if you want to talk about like the performance and basically what separates you from your competition.
No, absolutely. Well, look, I mean, it's not really. Again, it's not a hard thing. We benchmark the pile of servers, and this is another. I mean, I could go on for hours about the do's and don'ts. And I'm not saying that we're perfect either, but you learn from doing proper research and development, and then deploying that research and development that you've you come up with, the conclusions you come up with. And anyway, we benchmarked everything from Intel 13, 12,900 at the end, the start of it, and then it was 13, 14 900s. That they were like Chernobyl. That they were literally running so hot we were scared of them. We did everything from Xeons, Epics, Ryzens, and so on and so forth. And we just found a good all-round performance, from the 7950Xs. The problem we had with the 13s and the 14s is that they have the performance cores, and then as soon as the server starts utilizing the E-cores, everyone's performance tanks. So, it comes down to the hardware, and then how much are you putting on the hardware? It's, how many servers are you putting on it? If you're whacking 50 servers on it, no server's going to deal with it, right? And that's just it. And then also the transparency of that, letting the users see actually what the physical server is doing. You mentioned before about people feeling comfortable, and comfort comes from knowledge, I believe. And I said to you before, an analogy. You wouldn't go and rent a hotel room without even seeing it, would you? You just wouldn't.
Absolutely.
So why rent a server without seeing it? It's as simple as that. You want to know what you're on and what the current statistics of the server that you're on is, and that was pretty much it, really. And in terms of performance, the way you get it is just don't overload your hardware.
Well, it's also going to be helpful that it's a dedicated box. It's only running your game, not like you said, 10, 15 other games are all on this one game
there are
server.
other people. Yeah, there are other people running on those machines. You know, so again, it comes down to the package, the packages that we have. So we have the machine split up into segments, if you imagine. So if you're on like an Ultimate OC package, that's 25% of the machine. So, you know, now it's a bit more technical than that because you might have an Ultimate OC, but let's say, for example, you're on Hell Let Loose, which doesn't use 32 gigabytes of RAM. But anyway, regardless of that, you know, one day you might say, as a Hell Let Loose server owner, oh, I don't want to play this game anymore, I'm going to go and play Ark or something. And so off you go. Those resources are yours. You can utilize them or not. So once the machine's resources are sold, we have to get more hardware, and that's just the way it is. It's just a big churning machine of just, but the resources are assigned to you, and then that's the end of it.
All right, and quickly before we transition to customer service and stuff like that, you did say packages and contracts. Are clients locked into contracts? Can they
No,
can they get out of
absolutely not.
contracts?
So you can upgrade, downgrade, you can do whatever you want. We don't believe in any of that stuff. I mean, look, too many companies in this day and age are tying people into contracts. You've got phone companies doing it, internet companies, water companies, gas, electric companies. Everyone's tying everyone into contracts.
It's all a money grab.
Guaranteed money.
Yeah, it's all like, you know, well, thanks for your customer. Now we've got you for 12 months, and they always sneakily sort of, you know, drive in, you know, a price increase, which I happen to know one server company out there that's just increased everyone's Hell Let Loose server prices randomly without any knowledge.
While
You know,
performance drops as well.
Yeah, here's your bad performing server, and by the way, we're going to charge you double for it. I mean, how dare they? So there is no contracts. You get a 7-day refund guarantee after every single payment. So if you pay us, let's say on the 1st of March, you got 7 days to claim your refunds. If a fault happens to occur, and that happens to be our fault, and you say, listen guys, listen, it's the 20th or something, I'm just not happy, we'll just send you money back. There's no problem. If, you know, you want to upgrade, you can upgrade. If you want to downgrade, you can downgrade. Hell Let Loose is you can't downgrade any less than level 3. That was set there by Team 17 in the first place. So, you know, because I think they have to sort of balance the market in some way, right?
Gotcha.
And yeah, there aren't any contracts. There's no. If you want to leave tomorrow, you can leave tomorrow. You know, it's simple.
That's great. Now we're just going to transition over to the customer service, tech end support. So people that are experiencing problems, how does the ticket system work? I just know that whenever I was having performance issues, I would have to get email somebody, then the turnaround time on getting the box reset, it was just a nightmare. So what's your customer service like?
The box shouldn't have to be reset. I mean, that's just, you know, I mean, that's because they're driving the living hell out of it, no doubt, you know. Another thing as well is you'll find that other companies, you know, that they'll switch off servers on the machine to make your server run better at the time, and then all of a sudden, you know, a day later, it's back to square one again. Support is a sore point with Qonzer. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to try and beat around the bush in any way. I'm going to say it. It's hard to provide support to the world of clients, you know, from all different locations around the world, and be able to maintain an instant sort of response. We are changing the way the support is. We're not going to offer any form of Discord tickets anymore. They're going bye-bye because, again, we have to channel people through a singular channel, and that's going to be live chat. And the live chat system also sort of operates like a ticket system. So if you message us on there, and let's just say we don't get back to you, but then as soon as we load up your chat and we respond, it will send you an email saying that we've responded, and send them a link to open up the chat, and we'll continue where you left off. Yeah, it needs improvements. We need more staff.
Well, you said it. Everything's not perfect, but you guys, again, if you're above, or if you are the competition at the top and everybody's shooting for you, you know.
I mean, I've heard horror stories. I've heard horror stories about certain providers, you know, not even getting back for 2 weeks or whatever like that, you know. All I can say is that, you know, people sometimes say, well, I'll never go in there. I go, well, it gets hard. It's very hard. I mean, we sort of guarantee that if we don't get back to you, we will get back to you within like a 12-hour period, and your issue will be resolved in 24 hours or less. If you have an issue, per se, that is bigger, out of our hands, then we'll communicate with you on it, you know. But we'll always offer you a solution.
Sounds good.
And as for support, it has to be live. I mean, gone are the ticket support. I mean, it's so old. I mean, it's like sending emails back and forth. We just want to get rid of it and sort of modernize it and have a live chat system.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can get all the staff onto live chat, and we can get, you know, we can get going on that. If you, my end goal for the support is, you know, to provide less than 1 minute, sort of 10 minutes of response time, and get your issue dealt within an hour if you have an issue that we can deal with on the spot.
You had mentioned your
Servers back up and
infrastructure.
running.
Yeah.
You were saying earlier, infrastructure is where you put a lot of money and effort and emphasis on. So I guess if you're doing your job on the back end, your customer service is not going to be inundated with work. So obviously, if you're
again, also this also stems to another thing about how many people you're putting on a machine, right? So if you're putting 30, let's say 40 people on a machine, which you know a lot of people do, and then that machine goes offline, you've got potentially 30, 40 customers very unhappy, and but if you put like 4 or 5 or 6 on a machine and there happens to be a fault, and I always say this, it's not if a fault will happen, it's when a fault will happen. Hardware is not forever, and it will come to a point where that hardware fails, you know. And we have things like backup, for example. So in the control panel, you can instantly back up and download it, and when you back it up, it shoves it up to our storage there as well, so we can always get your files back. CPU replacements are on site. Whole chassis replacements are on site, and that's the thing that we tend to do now, working with our partners, LSN, who I've got to say are second to none. I mean, Preston, Taylor, Felipe, and all that lot over at LSN are literally a dream to work with, and this wouldn't have been possible without them. There are other partners I just have to mention quickly, and the whole thing is like Data Packet, very, very, very expensive place, but they offer the world's best transit. So trying to combine them, and that's where I'll go into Neoprotect in a bit and how we've kind of tied it all together. I don't know if you want to put my screen up that quick.
I think that would be a good idea. Hawk, could you please put up Turian's screen? He's going to go and basically show us, for us people who are visual learners, how this all comes together.
I mean, another thing going into it as well about performance. You know, one thing that I found doing our research was that there was different hardware if you were in the UK, France, New York, Japan, or wherever. There was different hardware. You know, sometimes you'd be on a 13900K, and then next second you'd be on a 3900X, and the server company would say, well, you're on a Ryzen 9, and they would say, yeah, you're on a Ryzen 9. But when you look at it, yeah, a Ryzen 9, it could be a 3900, it could be a 5900, it could be a 7900, and heck, now it could be a 99 or a 9950X, right? And they're just very shady about what
It's
you're
that dishonesty. Yeah.
So anyway, so we did a lot of research, and the research is all on our website and how we kind of did it. It's a bit more in depth than what we displayed on the website. We did it like this, just as a proof of concept for customers to go in and see what we came back with. And
It's beautifully presented, by the way, for somebody, you know, who may not understand it or have the tech background like you. We can read charts, you know, we understand, you know, things like that.
Yeah, and the charts very clearly reflect like the sort of 7950X and the 7900X, and like you can see the performance curve here on the 14900, that what would happen to the other servers when it was, you know, because obviously those E-cores kicking into place. And going into hardware failures, the chassis that we use are these Supermicro A+ microclouds, and these things are second to none. And these are worldwide. Every place, so if you order a server in Australia, you order a server in Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, Turkey, where, you know, United Kingdom, everywhere uses these chassis, and every single one of our servers is the same server as well. They're either 7950X, 7950X 3D, or now a 9950X, and soon to become the 9950X 3D. Again, we were going to upgrade every server to a 9950X, but we found it to be a 4% performance improvement real world, so it was just a load of money that didn't need to be spent kind of thing. We'd sooner rather spend it on bettering our infrastructure in other ways. So if a whole, let's just say a whole node happens to fail, we just simply transfer the NVMe drive, shove it in one of these, and pop them in. There's 8 servers in one chassis, and these things are a dream, absolute dream to work with. And yeah, and that's the way we keep performance up. So no matter where you are, you're getting this exact server. I mean,
Turion, I want to say that was a beautiful breakdown, and for all you tech nerds out there, I hope you appreciated that, because I had no idea where to go with that, but I think you did a beautiful job of explaining that. So hopefully it satisfies some of those people who want to know the nitty gritty. I think you did a great job of that.
Yeah, I think that it's got to be standardized. You can't say that you provide, the best service worldwide if you haven't got the best standardized infrastructure worldwide. It just doesn't make any sense. It's simple as that, and you have the same rules applied worldwide. And okay, that can bring problems if you have a fault with something or you discover something further down the line, which we already did do with this chassis. But Supermicro were really, really good to give us a BIOS update, which fixed that problem. We rolled it out, restarted everyone's servers, got everyone on the go again, problem solved.
Wonderful.
And these chassis maintain these 7950Xs at around about 5.1 to 5.5 gigahertz. And again, you can see that very, very clearly in our control panel, which I'll scroll down.
All the benchmarks. We love stuff like this.
You can see absolutely everything here. You can see what your CPU frequency is at, and you can see how much RAM usage and so on and so forth. It's all very useless information, to be perfectly honest with you.
But it looks very nice, though. It's beautiful.
I mean, we also back it up with hardware monitor. So people, because we've been accused in the past of, someone said, well, how do we know you're telling the truth? How do we know that this server is what you're saying the server is? Well, here, the proof's in the pudding. This is what the server is currently doing. This is what the temperature's at. This is what the load's at. I mean, the CPU load is 10%. That's quite normal.
That's quite transparent right there. That's what people want to see.
Yeah, and this is all just clearly viewable on our control panel, and you can see it all via the Q panel as it is. It's very, very
Speaking of control panel, QGuard, I did want to jump into that, but first, DDoS protection. And we had an incident again, HCA with a DDoS issue. I know a lot of communities, casters are dealing with, servers getting hit by who knows. Can you just talk briefly about what separates you, I guess, from other providers with the DDoS? Because I just know that we haven't been able to solve that riddle.
DDoS protection is probably one of the hardest, most elusive issues that you can have in the industry, really. Now, look, we're not experts in the field of protecting servers. Just like we're not experts in the field of large-scale internet infrastructures. Our partners, LSN, they're the experts of big infrastructure, right? And we used to use, we still do, but we use Path.net originally. And unfortunately, Path.net just isn't what Path.net used to be. They got removed from DCIX in Europe, and it caused outages, and people's routes were randomly failing all over the States, and we've had a lot of issues with Path.net, and but we can't run without Path.net because it did provide a level of protection, although questionable at times. So what we did is we brought in our own system, and we sort of branded it QGuard. Now, QGuard itself is an amalgamation of different DDoS protection providers. So we've got 4 packages coming out, and it will go Path.net, which is free of charge, and some hosting providers charge for Path.net, but we don't. It's free. We also it's also tied in with our own infrastructure now, so it's much more stable than what it was. And then we have QGuard Protect, which is the first initial package of Neo Protect, which is now our DDoS protection partner. So Neo come in after speaking with them, and they've developed specific filters for not just games, but for engines, and it goes even more in depth than that. It's very, very complicated, but they are, honestly, they're very expensive. But at the same time, the proof's in the pudding. When you're through Neo, you can, and it's set up properly, you can rest assured you're fine. But yeah, and then that's where I was saying to you before about data packet. Neo Protect runs via data packet, so your latency is less. So you're not only getting better DOS protection, you're also getting lower latency, which is a win-win situation. Unfortunately, it's
For
not
sure.
free. QGuard Premium costs £10, and QGuard Custom costs £20. The reason for that is how much those services cost us. If you were to go with Neo Protect directly, it would cost you anywhere from 150 to 250 euros for a single machine to be protected. We've been able to sort out a deal with them where you can get protected for about £20, and then that's your IP. And that IP is a floating IP. So if you decide to move your servers to New York or LA or Germany, that IP can be taken with you wherever you want. And then let's say, for example, you're a Hell Let Loose server owner who has got 4 servers in Germany. You can buy one QGuard Custom for £20 and protect all 4 of your game servers. So it's per location, and it's very advanced and it's very, very, very effective.
Well, we
Also-
need that. We need that for the integrity of our community matches and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I'm sure communities will.
I think I'll have to dig out the core data, but I think during the time of your league, I think you had around about 700 and something DOS attacks or 600 and something DOS attacks sent towards your servers. Some of them big, some of them small, and yeah, and that's not uncommon. If you're advertising a server IP and you've got 2 teams competing in a league, you're going to be attacked because people are loners. People want something to do. I still don't understand the concept of wiping the DOS, but that's just what they are.
Yeah.
I
Some
literally
people-
just learned about them last night, so you got me. I'm like, why would you do this?
They do it because I suppose they get a kick out of it. And another problem with DOS attacks as well is that some data centers do a thing called null routing. So you will be DOSed, and you got to bear in mind this is so counterproductive. The DOSer is DOSing you to take down your server, and then you go to your provider for backup. You go, hey, look, I'm being DOSed, and so you're being attacked, and rather than them helping you, they turn your IP off. They say, well, we've null routed your IP.
Yeah, we fixed
So-
it.
Yeah, so they've just taken your server offline. The DOS has won. So regardless of anything, the DOS has won, and that's just not acceptable in my opinion. We have to do something about it. And again, Killian and the whole team over at Neo Protect, those guys, we've had some long nights, believe me. But I'm fairly confident now that we have a solution that we can roll out. And next week we're going to roll out this Neo Protect solution globally, and allow any customer to upgrade or downgrade based on their requirements. So again, it's not a system that you have to buy and sign your life away. If you want to go on it, we offer a shared IP, which is you'll have multiple servers on the same IP, or we'll offer you QGuard Custom, which is a dedicated IP with only your server on. There is one more thing to say about that. The difference between premium and custom is that if you've got a very sophisticated attack going on, that we have to develop a custom rules to protect you against, then we will automatically upgrade you to the QGuard Custom, get you onto that, no extra cost. So, yeah.
Good to hear. Hopefully we don't have to ever upgrade that much, but from what I'm getting, it sounds like you're in this game for the long haul. I know we were saying earlier, sometimes maybe you're not getting the service and the quality because it's a quick cash grab, because it's so hard with the margins being so tight. You guys plan on staying in this, indefinitely. I mean, for the foreseeable future.
Oh, this is still this is our livelihood. This is us.
That's good to know.
I mean, without a question. And again, people say, "Oh, who are these new guys?" Well, I don't know them. I mean, I've got 20 years in this industry. I mean, before then it was the pharma industry, and I've done various other things in the meantime. But I always come back to this industry. This is me bread and butter, me core. And I think, gaming, the whole gaming industry went through a really tough time about, I don't know, sort of 10 sort of 12 years ago, where modding came out, and everything just exploded, right? But I think there was a very fine line between who is responsible for the plugins or the mods going on servers, and I think over the years it's kind of matured to whereby modders and do things like Discord. Discord we've all got to be quite thankful for. I know some people don't like it, some people do, whatever. But the modders now have their own Discord, so the people quite often when they have problems with their mods go now to the modders and say, hey, I've got a problem here, and so it's not all just reliant on the server company trying to make a buck at the end of it all. It's hard, but we're here for the long run, and when we got the opportunity to host Hell Let Loose, I wasn't quite prepared for how big it was going to be, how many. All I can say is that I feel really sorry for the customers. We had people coming on to us in the first who were very skeptical. They were like, are you real?
As a former server owner, yes, I was very skeptical. I was just like, it's too good to be true. I know a lot of the content creators that are in the official Hell Let Loose Discord with me are constantly complaining about getting DDoSed or, stuff like that. So knowing that you're somebody, a company who we can trust, depend on, you have that loyalty. I mean, trust me, we're a dedicated group of players. We've been around 5 years, and we're going to be around for another 5 as long as they continue to support this game. And we're going to continue to rent servers that we trust.
Yeah, you've got to ask yourself the question, when's the end? When at what point does it end? And I think, when you're forced, and I'm not saying that this is a fault on Team 17's perspective, or Black Matter originally or whatever, but when you're forced to go with certain providers and you have no choice, so I'm surprised the game survived, if I'm totally honest with you, because I'm surprised the community didn't just have a big upheaval and go, you know what, why are we getting forced to go with these providers? We're paying money for our service to be taken offline, we're paying money for bad performance. This game relies on high performance, stability. If you're in a match and you've got a 50 versus 50, and halfway through the game, all of a sudden a DOS attack comes in, you lose 60% of your player base, the game's over, it's done. You might as well just leave and go to another server. Right? The same thing, if you're having bad performance, these guys, they pride themselves on being the best they possibly can in the game. And if you go to shoot somebody and nothing happens, and they're like, hang on, what just happened there? And
we always complain about that. Is it the hit registry? Why is there all this stuttering going on? Is it the internet? Is it the provider? Is it the game? Is it a little bit of all three?
UE4 depends on clock rate. You'll notice on Hell Let Loose servers that they don't use a lot of CPU usage. So the faster you can get that clock rate, the better the game's going to perform. It's just as simple as that, really. I've spoken to Team 17 about certain performance things, but according to the big players that we've got under our belts, I say I don't want to mention any names in this interview, but I've been told that you can. There's a sort of like saying amongst them, when you're on a Qonzer server, and we've had a customer actually said, well, I was going around the web and I could tell which server I was on just by how it was performing, and so that's testament to the hardware that we put and the infrastructure we put in place. The DOS attacks happen every day, every single day, and I even turned around to a customer just last night, and I was like, how's your server running? And he was like, oh, it's great, yeah, it's great, yeah, thanks very much. He asked me, why are you asking? I was just like, oh, you've just been sent a 150 gigabit DOS attack. And
you knew it.
Well, he was like, oh right, yeah, well, no news here, nothing to report here, that was the end of it, So that, and that's the whole thing about the protection hardware. You should just be able to buy a server and just play it. At the end of the day, people are fed up having to go back and forth with just, there we are. I
hope you stick around. I need reliable servers. Everybody in here needs reliable servers. I think you've done a real good job of convincing us that, you're definitely worth a try. And we're definitely interested in promoting you guys. I know that in the leagues that we cast, I don't hear any issues. Competitive players are the first to tell you if the server was trash, if it's rubber banding, if there's any issues. I hear about it. I know Gumo hears about it. So we were very happy to report there was nothing really to say.
Well, we're approachable as well. If you're a server owner, if you're a player, you're a server owner or whatever, and you have a problem or something like that, heck, just hit us up. If we can help, we'll help. And that's just everyone needs to help each other. The game is not going to survive unless everyone helps each other. And,
Indeed.
and we all have a bit of fun at the end of the day. And as I say, it goes back to before that when we first come into it, I could sense this uneasiness amongst people getting servers, and they were like, well, can you tell us this? And they were asking 1,000,001 questions, It's like, well, and so I just say to them, look, we'll give you a server. Have a server, have a server for a month, try it out, see if you like it. If you like it, whatever, keep it. And that's something that I'm also looking into as well, because I know Hell Let Loose is. A lot of people seem to have a lot of money tied up in other hosting providers. And that's a story that we're getting told more and more often, and we're hearing it. And again, I'm not going to mention any names, but
I know where you're going. I know where you're going. I got that. That's my second to next question.
I'll just say it as it is. You should never take money off somebody, like $2,000 or whatever, off a community, and then say to them, when your servers are performing crap and they're just, they're useless.
Got the money up front.
Yeah. Oh, well, sorry, you can't have your money back. And then I've got people saying to me now, well, we can't move to you or any other provider because we've got all of
they're
our
locked
money
in.
in this provider. And they're locked in.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
It's just...
For as much as it is easy to, I did want to talk to you about how easy it is to transfer services. But before I even get into transferring services, I didn't want to lose the fact that on the back end, if I'm a server owner and I am transitioning to a different, but I did want to get it in. Do you need any kind of third-party software to operate it from the back end? I know that I use Battlemetrics to control my server, set the map rotation, etc., to ban or temp ban people. How does yours work?
Well, I mean, we provide a control panel, as you've seen before, and obviously Hell Let Loose. I mean, every game is different, right? So every game has its, some of them have remote tools, some of them don't, but generally you can do everything with every game through our control panel. You can see if it's online, you can get raw stats, you can tie Discord bots in with it, the whole lot. In regards to Hell Let Loose, we also give communities. So if you get one Hell Let Loose server, we'll give you a CRCon tool, I think they call it. It's a virtual server that you run like this Archon tool, which helps you control and keep stats and everything else of your Hell Let Loose servers. We give you that free of charge, so we don't charge you for that. So if you are a Hell Let Loose customer with us and you want one, come hit us up and we'll give you one. Again, people are paying a lot of money for that. People are making money off HLC Archon, and so everything's provided in the control panel. And as for transferring your server, it's not very difficult. It's with Hell Let Loose anyway. It's very easy. Other games we offer a migration, so if you just give us your old provider details, we'll go in and do everything for you and put your new server up live exactly as it was on your old provider.
Yeah. Again, it's the problem, like you said earlier. It's just people getting locked into these ridiculously long 6-month, 12-month contracts. They can't break it. It's already money lost. You can't do anything.
It's even worse than that. These guys have got credit balance, so they're not necessarily locked into a 6-month contract. They've got a credit balance with the other companies, and they can't check the credit balance out. And I've had people asking me to put clan pay on Qonzer, and they said, can you put clan pay on? And I'm like, no. We give you a £40 a month bill, you pay your £40 a month bill. If you've got people in your clan who want to pay you, there are things like PayPal, let them pay into your bank. And then some of them say, it's an argument back and forth, well, people don't want to pay the community because they don't know what's happening with the money or where the money's going, right? Well, I think that's more of a problem in the community than it is for us to resolve.
Right, we'll sort that.
But I think we also need to know our place. So we just we're there to help people. I mean, we had another guy, and I say I'm not going to mention any names, but he was sick. He couldn't pay for his bills, and we just gave him a month free. It made no odds to us, and not that we'll do that for everyone, mind you, but he just happened to be quite a big client of ours.
Yeah.
And that's where but he's helped us out in the past, and this is the kind of relationship we want to have. We don't want to be that server company like like so many others, where there's like this brick wall up. at the end of the day, we're all people. You know, we all go to the toilet the same way. We all like getting a beer on Friday nights, and we all like getting drunk every now and again. Why can't we just be friends and get along? You know, we're providing a service, and you guys are playing on the server. Hey, how hard can it be?
To me, it boils down to loyalty. We're a very dedicated, loyal community, and honestly, if you provide us a service, I can guarantee you, we're going to stick with you. We're going to promote you word of mouth.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just discussed before about expanding your server needs, you know, to make it easier to facilitate your
Competitive
requirements.
play. Yeah. I did want to touch into that, like competitive play and supporting the different leagues. I know APL was the first, and then you just recently got on with the ECL, a European tournament, and currently we have HCA, which I'm hoping might get on board with you, as well as
Well,
the big one, which is seasonal.
Yeah, I'll pledge it on here. Or every single league or sort of as a, you know, ECL, ACL, and so on. If you contact me, I mean, I've already got your guys' contact, of course. But if you contact me, you need something, we'll provide it for you. Don't
Beautiful. You hear that, guys? We're in. We made it.
Yeah, all of you.
We're all the way up. We made it.
If it takes 40 servers, it takes 40 servers. It takes what it takes. You know, as long as we can sort of, you know, if we can facilitate you guys doing something, then, you know, there we are. It's easy. You know?
You also said that if you provide us the servers, and we would just get like a panel where we just check off, like if we need more servers in a particular region, it's just as simple as just checking off that. Can you just explain it to the people of other communities? I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, so with you guys, I mean, you're talking before that, you know, you have like 5 servers or 6 servers or whatever it is, and, you know, you were struggling to sort of, you said about the East Coast, you've only got 2 servers, and you've got probably about 50,000 teams. I don't know, that's probably way over.
We had more than, we had like 4 teams playing at that particular time, and we couldn't schedule. So they had to play on their own servers, and we were drawing stats. And I think that's what Hawk is all about. You know, getting the stat integration. I think that's my last question I wanted to ask you, other than with Team 17 and how you guys work. But yeah, just,
I mean, if you ignore my complete and also over-exaggeration previously, I mean, you know, so what this will allow you to do is it will allow you to simply click a button. So you want to, let's just say, argument's sake, you've got 10 teams all on the East Coast, and you need 10 servers in one night, or 5 servers to put the 10 teams on, or whatever. You guys can just scale up and scale down as you guys need more servers. And so you just press create, and then when the match is done, if you need to keep the server, keep the server. If you don't, delete it, free up some space. And that's so it's more like a clouded infrastructure, if that makes any sense to you. It would just allow you to spin up servers and put them down as you please with the same.
I love that flexibility. That's beautiful.
And it's worldwide as well. So it'll be in every location we offer. You can just spin up and spin down as you please.
And you're everywhere in terms of coverage. I mean, you were just saying you just got something in Turkey recently. You're in Singapore. Yeah. You're everywhere.
I might have to deal with Turkey, but I mean, yeah. So the exact same hardware, the exact same network sort of infrastructure. NeoProtect is not far behind us. We're actively helping Neo get into these hard to reach locations. And just going back to before, if I may, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Take it all. We're hanging out, having a conversation. This is great.
There was a community of, you know, in Algeria, of these Counter-Strike 2 players, and also happened to be Hell Let Loose and a few other games that they play there. And they've got nowhere that they can play with decent latency, because the route goes either Palmero, and they can ping like 160 milliseconds to Germany, and which is their sort of closest point. And after lots and lots of discussion back and forth, we figured out that Marseille, France, was the best location for them to be. So they either ping. You got to bear in mind, for an American, this is just a state away. You know, it's not. You know, for us, it's like half the world. But you know, from Marseille, France, which is like South France to Germany, it's not that far. But they were pinging 100 on top. So we actually deployed the whole network in Marseille via data packet, just for them. And now we've got customers flying from Algeria just to have decent service. Again, 7950X, same infrastructure, same everything else, same DDoS protection, and they're now made up. So that's just the level of where we're going to go to be able to facilitate people and try and help people out. You know, Brazil was another hard one for especially
and the Brazilian community, I'll say the Brazilian, the South American community is a very dedicated, loyal group, and they always want better service providers, and they don't have very many. So,
well, we're actually going to expand. Next year we got an expansion in South America. Again, it's very difficult, but we've been looking into Peru, into Chile, and into Argentina, as well as obviously.
That's where all of Ronin plays, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also Mexico. We've got to figure out costings behind it. But another thing as well is and on our website, we only charge for 2 locations, and those locations are Johannesburg, because servers out there, cost literally 5 times the amount they do, and we don't own any hardware out in Johannesburg. We rent that again through Datapacket. Sao Paulo, Brazil, because again it costs an absolute living fortune. Soon though, Sao Paulo, Brazil will become free, because the more servers we get in Brazil, the better, the bigger the infrastructure becomes, the cheaper the servers become, and we transfer that cost onto the clients.
You hear that, Vanguardia? I guarantee all the Vanguardia people that are listening to this interview right now are gonna transfer right over. You guys know it. They're gonna be on it. The Vanguardia squad.
Again, it's hard. No other hosting provider provides 7950X servers in Sao Paulo, Brazil, or Johannesburg, but we managed to do it. It's been difficult, but we managed to do it. And the same for all the locations we offer. And again, there's going to be a whole new sort of order form come out in the next week, which I've been actively developing it. It's going to clean up a few fine details as well. It's going to not go on so much about who we are and how we're trying to change the world or whatever, and blast rockets up to space and all that kind of good stuff. It's going to be a bit more to the point, and it's going to be a bit more informative. We've had a couple of people from other countries asking us questions about what this 10M stands for. It means 10-minute provisioning and stuff like that. But they weren't to know, right? So everything's on our website. We're trying to innovate as much as we possibly can. We've had another guy tonight say about the decors. We are going to be changing that to threads. It's probably the better technical term. But yeah, you can literally do whatever you want, and we're here to help you guys achieve what you want to achieve. Is the main thing.
Wow. Can I just say this was an amazingly informative discussion? I mean, I don't know how you feel, Gumo, but man, I feel like I got enough information about servers to hold me for a while, man. This is great. I'm going to play this back and because my slow brain can't pick it all up this quick.
I've just talked the most utterly useless amounts of information, but anyway, whatever. No, I'm joking. I mean, and you said before you wanted to ask me a question about Team 17.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is your relationship with Team 17 and getting on board and connected with them? And I guess basically, what is your role with them? I mean, I'd like to see you guys have a great partnership. And then the last thing would be stat integration. I know Hawk is big for pulling stats, and a lot of our streams, we're trying to incorporate live stats from the servers, the Qonzer servers that you provide. So if you have any knowledge of that.
Yeah, I'll have a chat with Hawk afterwards. I mean, look, if it's data and the data's there, there'll be a way of extrapolating it. That's, and again, another thing that it's not, nothing's impossible. Nothing is ever impossible. If there's a way of doing it, there's a way of doing it, and we'll find it. That's the key thing. So if Hawk and I, we can get together, we can discuss about, these stats and how we can try and, put them to some use somewhere or whichever. Team 17, a tough nut to crack is probably the easiest way of saying it. Obviously those guys over there, and I think they've got a really uphill challenge against them. I think people are quite harsh on them at times. For me,
I'm quite harsh on them. I can't help it. I think.
Everyone can be harsh on them, but I always say to people, just think about this. I mean, their game runs 100 players on it, and for it to run the way it does on the UE4 engine with 100 players on it, I tell you what, they've beaten some feats, right? And and for the amount of how big the worlds are and everything, I mean, that's a tough job. And I'm not just trying to blow smoke, No,
I appreciate the honesty. I want to know.
every game has its challenges, and I do think that they've got a few sort of smaller problems that I think personally they should focus on. And as a matter of fact, last week there was an error that was coming up. People were just saying lost connection to host, so they go.
Yeah, that is an issue, right? Server
Yeah.
compatibility issues not being.
Well, it boils down to it's just a DNS fault. So we did a packet scan when connected, and this is how in depth we're going into it. So a customer reported it to us, and and this is what another hosting provider would do. Simply, that they connect to the server and say, "Well, we're connected. Well, sorry, yeah, off you go." It must be a problem at your end. And we very, very quickly realised that this wasn't just a problem with one person or whichever. And we're going into TeamViewer and we're back and forth and we're trying to, I'm connected, and we ran Wireshark, and we found out that he was losing connection to part of the anti-cheat system whilst connecting. And that was the cause of this lost connection to host. So we reported it to Craig, and Craig's a great guy.
He's the guy on the back end of the War Correspondents channel, Craig and Greg.
Yeah, he's I couldn't imagine how many messages he gets today, but but again, all this stemmed from Frank from PBS Game Team. He's the original guy who come over to us and said, "Can we help with this?" And then he introduced us to Team 17, and we went through this 6-month back and forth of waiting here, waiting there, trying to do this, trying to do that, and eventually we managed to break through. And we didn't. Other providers are charging $100, and we just said, no, we're not going to charge any more. We're going to charge about, and we were dead set on that. We would not charge any more than what we charge for any other game.
Wow.
Because no one in Hell Let Loose should have to pay. I mean, I heard some people were paying $120 for a single server. I mean, how is that even affordable? So yeah, Team 17 is very good, and we are submitting them. Excuse me, we are submitting them some bug reports here and there. We're channeling the bug, so we're sort of gathering a list at a time, and we'll send them the list and we'll go through it. So that people say nothing goes on, but believe me, there's quite a bit going on behind the scenes from what we see anyway. Far more than most of the game creators. That's all I'm going to say on that side of it as well.
Yeah, we're privy to only to a little bit of information. I'm just happy to hear it that the game is being supported from a performance standpoint, from a user interaction. I mean, it's not fun to not have compatible servers pop up or get random disconnects. But I just want to shout out Frank from PBS for turning you on to Hell Let Loose and introducing you guys to Team 17 and helping us out with our beloved Hell Let Loose, man. We're going to do anything to support this game and support Qonzer in any way we can. I do appreciate you offering all the extra servers for the communities that play in the league, and I want to appreciate you for taking an hour more than an hour, before we even got this conducted. We've been going for an hour. This has been great. And then we had a 30-minute sesh before this, and I mean, Turion, you're the best, honestly.
No. We're not the best, and I want to say this before I tie up, but we have a lot of work to do. Qonzer has a lot of work to do, and but we are working tirelessly to get this to the level it needs to be at. And you said before, if we can get to a certain level, then I hope it blows everyone else off the water. That's all I can say to it. So,
well, I'm satisfied. I know everybody in the community is. Best of luck. I mean, honestly, your service is second to none right now. Now, I know you said you're not perfect, but I'll tell you what, you're the standard, in my opinion, and I know it's the opinion of a lot of other communities. Again, thanks for stopping by, spending an hour with us.
Anytime. I hope to join you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope to have you back again soon, and we'll talk more about how successful you're doing in the Hell Let Loose space.
Yeah, no problem at all. Guys, thank you so much, and thanks to everyone. Cheers.
Thanks for
Have
coming.
a great night.
Take care. All right.
So
that was
Guma. Do you need to take a shower? I need to take a shower. I mean, that was just so much information. My head is like, wow.
A lot of that went over my head, but I did learn quite a few new things tonight. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Hey, those of you in chat that are listening, that are still hanging out with us, man. I hope you appreciate what Turion was able to provide us with. I mean, just a wealth of information. All you server owners or would-be server owners, you got all that information. The website, I'm sure Hawk will link that in the description.
Yeah. Cough, HCA, cough.
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. I'm so glad Turion came and really just broke it down for us. I don't know what else to say other than I'm just happy to have him on our side and have a provider that people can trust.
It's so amazing that they're doing this for the leagues, that given these nice servers. I mean, they already provide such good services as it is, as we just been talking about for the last hour. But the fact that they're giving these up to the leagues to use, that's so cool.
I mean, he said it best. It's like we help each other out, right? So we're helping get the word out for them, and I mean, we're happy to obviously take the generous donations of the game servers, and we're putting them to good use. And I'm hoping that translates into a bigger market share for Hell Let Loose. I hope to see all of his or all the servers, become Qonzer servers, because they're really that good. I mean, check out the website, look at the specs. He showed you on stream exactly. It's not hardware that he's just making up numbers. I mean, he's showing you the back end. So transparency, that was his big thing. That's the ethos that they were talking about, and just being honest. So I think the people that are interested in switching over should really seriously consider Qonzer, really.
That's right. And with that, I think we can stop sales pitching. Yeah, wait. I mean, when you like something,
I'm passionate about that.
Sorry,
man.
I was
hate
talking
getting
in
ripped
general.
off. Okay, but man, I just hate getting ripped off. And just so you guys know, at least for this season, okay, this will be the last episode of the APL Insider until the following season 4, whenever that comes around. I know that they are on a rotation. I know that HCA is currently involved right now, and
It's
then
like halfway done already.
Yeah, about halfway done. I know seasonal will be beginning early 25. I want to say, if not the last week, maybe the last week in January, maybe the first week in February, and that's probably going to run till about springtime. So I'm thinking APL might start up again in probably like April or May of 25. So yeah, that's the next time you're going to see the APL Insider again. And I don't know, Guma, we had a good run. This was pretty fun. I mean, there was
a lot of fun. It's
a lot of work,
see
but
what happens. We'll let the viewers tell us. You guys want us to do this again next season? Did you enjoy it? A lot of people had said that they did. So I'd be happy to do it again if people enjoyed it. Why not? It was fun.
Yeah, we just need to throw up a poll and just say, hey, let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, and should we continue this? I guess that's the best thing. We need feedback. We need to know what you guys want to listen to. I mean, if highlights just aren't getting it done for you, and you want more people coming on and doing interviews, that's what we'll do. So, just make it more interactive and fun. I personally enjoyed when people come on the show.
I did too.
That little banter.
That was when we started really picking up and doing longer shows and having a lot of fun. So
definitely. So anyway, hey, that'll do it for this season. I'm Gadarian. That's my boy right over there, Gumo. And I guess we'll catch you on the next time we run this. See you in about 4 months.
take it easy, everybody.
Peace.
APL Insider. Here we'll be breaking down all the plays. Yours, Oceania, the boom on train. Then we'll be breaking down all the plays.